for the descent, because it's gonna be very quick. Check the recall. On the checklist there's no notes. Close this one. 020 at 10 knots, 10 kilometers or more, few clouds, 26 degrees and 1016. So yeah, it's gonna be 108 with a bit of a left crosswind. Okay. So we're gonna go to the departure arrival, because we're not halfway through the flight yet. It's still looking back at the origin airport, so still looking back at Dubai. But if we go to index, then it takes us to the departure arrival index, and then you just have to go to arrival there for our destination, Muscat. Go to ILS 08 left, and after Muscat, I think we're just gonna go straight in. So I'll just execute the ILS, then look at the legs page, just link up Muscat to Itlak. I think that will do the trick. I'll maybe set like a speed restriction here to help with the VNAV profile. 190. Then I'll assume all this is correct as well. I don't have the charts with me, so yeah, but that looks good to me. Right, so that's this for the VRF. Actually, it's gonna land with about 11 tons, and our zero fuel weight is 234, so that's a landing weight of 245 roughly, if I can do the maths. And it's gonna give us a VRF 30 of 148, which makes sense as well. When you're at max landing weight, the VRF is 149. If the VRF is 150, then you're gonna be landing overweight, so you don't want to do that unless it's an emergency or whatever. And then yeah, once you are like in the mid 240s, then yeah, 148, and then obviously it slowly reduces to lower values. So that's our minima. Minimums we'll use 400, maybe a little bit less, because oops, I went to radio. So I said maybe 350. As I said, I don't have the chart, so I'll kind of eyeball that one. I know it's sea level, so cat 1 minima 200 feet maybe as something else to bear in mind. But auto brakes we got 2, and that's pretty much it really. Yeah, guys, as well, I invite you to join me on the Twitter. If you've got Twitter, then got a Twitter account where I'll kind of post updates on the simulation and also kind of aviation stuff or whatever comes through my mind. Sometimes I come across like, I don't know, like the articles about the 777X load test, just like little things like that from time to time. It's not like 50 links a day that I post on Twitter. There's maybe like a couple of links a week, and maybe sometimes like a photo of I don't know, the other day, a few weeks back, I posted like a photo of a storm cloud, you know, a photo I took in flight of a storm cloud, something like that, just a few things. So I do invite you to join me on the Twitter page. I'll bring FS to crew, once again brief him for the approach. So it's gonna be via the star, let's get 1. Minima we said was 360, I think. 360. Ah no, 350. Yep. Landing configuration is 30, runway is dry, APU and transponder will keep, that's it. So he's briefed, and then we have to call the descent checklist. Okay. Descent checklist.
Stand by. Descent checklist. Recall checked. Notes
checked.
Auto brake level 2. Landing data.
VREF is 148, minimums 350 feet.
VREF 148. Minimums 350 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Right, so starting the descent now. It's a very short flight. And the sun is actually starting to go a little bit down. The textures, there's a little bit of... the sun is actually to the other side. See the Ovani Mountains, the sun is up there, but yeah, it's not very far. It's already kind of late afternoon in the area there, so... Nice. Scenery is actually not too bad above ORBX Global. Those green patches are a little bit obviously kind of a bit of a mismatch with a kind of desert scenery, but the mountains there look quite good. No 787, no. Not yet. Maybe soon, but not yet. Oh, that was the nerves. Maybe a little bit. It's alright. That's when you're in the simulator, you can do whatever you want. It's alright. That's good though. That's really good. I hope I'm not catching you too early. I know you're in the US, so I know it's quite early in the morning there. So. Right, so
10,000 feet.
It's reducing to 250 knots, but it's not doing a great job. May have to help a little bit.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
1016 set.
1016. Approach checklist complete.
Okay, cool. Yes, I do need to kind of help it a little bit with the speed brake. I think we had the FMC message drag required, yeah. Okay. Oh, crooner, you're in Canada as well. Okay. Yeah, guys. I know, like for a lot of you, it's a little bit early, but I'm kind of in the Eastern Hemisphere, so I'm not gonna kind of talk again about the location and all that stuff. But just to kind of give you an idea, like in the Eastern Hemisphere. So by Eastern Hemisphere, like. You know, Europe, Asia, Africa, so kind of on the other side of the world to you guys, so to speak. So for me, it's the day is already kind of almost finished or not far from it. So but I know that for you guys in the US, it's or in Canada, well, generally in North America, it's relatively early in the day. All right, we'll go down to 3,400 feet and then continue with the arrival after Itlak. No reason, no reason. Right, so we have no ident yet on the ILS. It's coming soon. As you know, on the PMDG 777, I think there's an option, but I'm not sure if it's an option or not. But you can't click on the PFD to open it up like this and make it bigger. I think there was an issue initially, so they give you the option, or otherwise it's totally locked to avoid any crashes. So going around, a few clouds around, the ocean beyond. The scenery, as I said, like the mix of green and then desert scenery doesn't really match very well, but that's I guess a limitation of the simulation. I think I've said that before, but actually even in like level D simulators we train on, the scenery is actually not great, and those desktop simulation like add-ons do like a much better job at doing the scenery than what we get in the actual real like training simulators. So yeah, that's you would think that maybe in the real simulator the scenery will be amazing, but actually it's not. It's very basic. We sometimes train, you know, in all the fancy difficult airports, and the scenery is more like to show you maybe the terrain, the shape of the terrain and how it looks, but the scenery in itself is very basic. Now we do have the ident on the ILS Jamaica Lima, yeah, 084 inbound, 21 miles. So we're 4,600 feet, 21 miles. It's gonna start decelerating now. It's actually not doing a bad job on the VNAV.
(1,000 feet to level off).
No problemo. So we'll arm the approach. The glide slope, you can see there, if I can open the other panel, the other screen rather. But how can I drag it down? I can't drag it down, and I know that this interacts with the in the stream. Yeah, you can see the little white lozenge there. Anyway, so we are like below the glide slope. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Flaps 5.
Speed checked. Flaps 5.
Flaps 15.
Speed checked. Flaps 15.
Localizer capture.
Check.
Glide sub capture.
Check.
Alright, so we're a little bit fast, but there's no speed restriction, so it's all good. And here we go, flaps 15 now. So flaps 15 on the ILS is good because it helps with a bit of drag.
Cabin crew, take your seats.
I like using flaps 15 on the glide slope. It's a good one. Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 20. Flaps 20.
Speed checked, flaps 20.
Flaps 30.
Speed checked, flaps 30.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete.
Checklist complete. Obviously for FS2 crew I don't need to say it again, but it's just to keep the automatism going, if I can say that. At the end of the day we're like monkeys a little bit, you know. Kind of trained to do and say things at certain times. So the missed approach altitude is set 6,000 feet, and it's gonna come to 1,000 feet and confirm that it's set, I think.
Approach stable.
1,000.
No, he didn't say that, so we'll confirm the missed approach altitude is set, and I'll ticket the aircraft manually now. Flight director, wish me luck. Brace for impact. Never easy to judge the landing on this thing, and the joystick and everything is not always very smooth, or you don't really have too much of a feel for it. I don't know how the Airbus guys do it, you know, with the joystick, because this feels a little bit like gimmicky. And
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums.
There's a bit of a crosswind as well, so
Minimum.
Minimums.
landing.
Checked.
Doesn't look too bad.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
No bad.
Speed brakes up. Reverses normal. $60 knots.
Manual braking.
Check.
Okay to clean up.
Check.
Okay, so I think I know where I'm going, but because I practiced that one yesterday, or I had a look at it, so I think I know where I'm going. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's as I said, I mean, sometimes it kind of looks like it's working out okay, and it kind of feels like it's an alright landing. Other times it kind of you plant it down, but on this it's always difficult, so I don't pay too much attention to it, to tell the truth.